Hello there, I'm Dr. Curtis Finch, Superintendent of the Deer Valley Unified School District. Welcome to a brand new episode of the award-winning Supe Scoop podcast. DVUSD has the longest-running Mandarin Immersion program in the state of Arizona. Immersion in any language is beneficial to students in helping them achieve academically as well as cultural competency. Bilingualism or biliteracy can open doors in business and leadership, and it can simply open a student's mind. DVUSD's Mandarin Immersion program has two tracks, one that starts in kindergarten at Desert Sage Elementary and works its way up through Hillcrest Middle and O'Connor High School. The other tracks start in kindergarten at Gavilan Peak School and continues on at Boulder Creek High School. Today we'll talk to a student and a teacher of the Mandarin program at Gavilan Peak, as well as a national champion student currently at Boulder Creek High School. Mr. Jimmy Zhao, a teacher of the year at Gavilan Peak, and 8th grade student Vienna Chung start the conversation, as they recently shared with me how they see language immersion positively impacting individual students and entire grade levels in the early stages of a child's education.
Hi, I'm Mr. Zhao. I'm a teacher at Gavilan Peak. I'm in Mandarin Immersion program. I've been here for 7 years.
7 years? Wow,
I'm teaching
that's great.
6th grade.
Nice. You realize it was that long. That's amazing. And you are?
My name is Vienna Chuang. I'm an 8th grade student at Gavilan Peak. I've been in the immersion programs since 1st grade.
Talk a little bit about the technical side of an immersion program. When the listener hears the word immersion, what does that mean to be in a language immersion program?
So immersion program is not just about learning a foreign language. Actually, our kids immersed in the language when they learn different subjects. For example, for all the Mandarin students in my school, so half of the day they are learning 2 subjects in Mandarin. So math and science, they learn the 2 subjects in Mandarin. So in this way, the kids, they're really thinking, in the foreign language. It's not just, recite some words or a sentence. They're really learning the language. They're really using the language. So this is all the purpose of immersion program, because we want our kids to pick up the language like native speakers.
You've said you've been here for a couple years, since 1st grade in the immersion program. Talk a little bit about what it's like to be a student in Gavilan Peak's Mandarin Immersion program.
I think it's really helped us to be with the same group of people and not have our classes be switched around as much, staying in the Mandarin Immersion program with people. And I think just going through the Mandarin Immersion program has allowed us to do a lot more presentations, and it's helped us become really fluent, I guess, sort of, and just the community a lot too.
So you're saying you go in a pod? All those kids stay together today? Okay.
We're normally all in the same homerooms, and we age up together. We'll take the same specials and stuff. Okay, so you travel together and learn from each other, and I imagine that has an impact on speaking. Do you speak with your classmates in Mandarin? After so many years in the immersion program, we kind of just have an on-off switch for when we're speaking Mandarin versus English, depending on our classes, because we kind of have alternating classes kind of sprinkled through the day. Talk a little bit about how somebody would get enrolled in the school if they wanted to either know more about the immersion program. Where could they go to learn about it? Or could they come see you? Could they see the office? Obviously, Gavilan Peak's immersion program is the only immersion program in the northern part of our district, and is also, I believe, the oldest in the state of Arizona. So how do I learn more? How do I get enrolled? I know they're opening right now for kindergarten students, and do they accept students up to a certain age? Tell us a little bit about the technicalities of getting involved and learning more.
Oh, thank you. So first, we know that our Mandarin program really have the longest history in the state of Arizona. So we start our program in the year back in the 2009. So, and now you see that even our first group of Mandarin kids, they already graduate, they're already in college. We really have a longest history. We really have the best experience of teaching kids in Mandarin program. Our program is really pretty mature, and you can tell even from what our students achieve in the national competitions concerning Mandarin speech competition, or even Mandarin spelling bee when we compete with other schools. We are really the best. So why we can achieve the most? Because we start the program when the kids at the kindergarten. So the kids, when they start younger, it's easier for them to pick up the language. Usually at the kindergarten level, so the teachers, try to engage students by singing, songs in Mandarin. They're playing different games in Mandarin. At first, some parents, they thought, how can their kids learn Mandarin in Mandarin program, in Mandarin, environment without speaking any English? But trust me, our kids have the potential to do that. And probably in 1 or 2 months in the program, your kids started to speak Mandarin to you, even though you understand it. You'll be so proud of them. So even on the campus, our kids always talk to us in Mandarin. In this way, we really build up relationship with them. So we also use this, chance to help them to improve their language proficiency. So how to enroll this program is really easy, because now it's for the open enrollment right now. If they can go to our website, and I think we have the link over there. They just follow the steps and instruction over there. They can be enrolled to our school. And for the kindergartens, and now we really open for all the parents, here around this neighborhood or the community. We hope they can join in, and this way can help them to build up a bright future.
What can a student start at the 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade? What do you recommend? Do they even allow that? Do they allow a 2nd grader? Because obviously their peers are 2 years in if they're coming in at the 2nd grade or 3rd grade level. So do they recommend that, or can a kid handle that?
So I really recommend they can start as early as they can. Probably some parents, their kids are now in kinder or 1st grade, not in the immersion program. They still can transfer to our school. All the teachers, all the helps around them, I believe they are able to catch up with other kids if they are kinder, 1st, 2nd, even 3rd grade.
And we know that TSMC is going to double in size, and we have hundreds of students, Mandarin-speaking students, already in our system coming from different parts of the world. So our kids can have a leg up on our neighbors as far as opportunities with obviously another speaking language.
Yes, this is really a good chance to not only help our kids, it's also help the the Taiwanese, the company come here to build up a Mandarin-speaking community. Because when the students, they come to here, they need a lot of help from our teachers. But in Gavilan Peak, we have, at each grade level, we have one Mandarin, teacher here. So if they want to learn English, we can be really the best help to them. So some of the parents also put their kids into Mandarin program because they want to make their kids continue to improve their Mandarin language proficiency. This is also a good opportunity for them to keep their heritage language, and meanwhile, it can also improve their English language proficiency.
Great. Vienna, he talked about some competitions. I hear that you've been in a few. Talk about them and maybe how well you've done and what things that you've learned from the different competitions that Deer Valley offers to Mandarin-speaking students.
So when I was in 4th grade, we had a Mandarin spelling bee competition, and I think they still do that for a handful of the grades. And so that would have us, they would tell us the character and we'd have to write it. And I think that year, me and my friends, we all tied for our first place that year. And then there's also the Mandarin speech competition. So every year we'll be given a set of 3 topics, I think, and we can pick one, and then we make presentations or posters about it, and then we just do a short 2 to 5 minute speech about it. And then me and my friends have also taken spots in the podiums the past handful of years.
I've actually walked in on those competitions, seen them a couple times. What does that environment do for you as a learner, where you're under pressure to speak in front of adults you've never seen before and making a presentation maybe in front of an audience that you haven't seen before? What does that do with for your confidence and your ability to find the passion for the language?
I think it really helps our oratorical skills and public speaking. I think public speaking's been a lot easier since we've started doing the Mandarin speeches. And then I think it's also helped us have a better sense of almost like competition, but friendly, because it's all our friends that we're going against. And then I think recently when they've had us go against Desert Sage and Hillcrest too, I think that's helped a lot too, because we've gotten to meet kids from other schools that, who knows, maybe we'll see them more in our future, in high school and maybe even past high school.
Yeah, because Deer Valley Unified has Mandarin Immersion and Spanish Immersion programs. We also have specials in different languages throughout the system. So we believe in the value of another language that stretches the student to become more of a world learner and understand other cultures. Talk a little bit about Gavilan Peak, the school. Now that you've been here for 7 years, what do you like about this school that you'd want more kids to come here and hang out with you?
I really love the teachers here. I mean, they're all super nice, super welcoming, and then they're not too strict, but still have a sense of authority over us. And then I also really like how we're able to have specials, because then we can try new things and see what we like and don't like and kind of grow together with that.
And we talked a little bit earlier about the high school program, because obviously we want to feed you to Boulder Creek High School, and we have a gal who won the national championship about 2 weeks ago, so I know that she's probably a rock star. Have you heard about her?
I have. I mean, we were in a SSAC group together, and then she used to come to Gavilan Peak, so then we were in the same Mandarin class last year, and her younger sister is in 7th grade. So we have Mandarin together. I have Mandarin with her little sister this year. And yeah, it's just a really great family and just good to meet all of them.
Well, maybe someday you'll be a national champion.
Maybe.
I want to thank you for both of you spending time with me, with the superintendent, learning a little bit about the Mandarin Immersion program here at Gavilan Peak. And keep up the great work. You are developing a legacy that is very powerful. It's something Deer Valley Unified is very proud of. And it's the longest-serving Mandarin program, immersion program in the state of Arizona. We're the originals, and we're pretty proud of it, so keep up the great work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Zhao and Vienna see firsthand how language immersion helps students. We also have physical evidence of success in language immersion in the form of trophies. Mandarin immersion students at Boulder Creek High School have been recognized for state and national championships in Mandarin speech competitions. The latest national champion is a Gavilan Peak graduate in her freshman year at Boulder Creek. She has had an incredible adventure in the past few weeks in becoming the best Mandarin immersion speaker in the nation.
Hi, my name is Genevieve Curtis. I'm a freshman here at Boulder Creek, and I did cross country and I'm doing track, and of course I'm in the Mandarin program, and I entered the national speech competition.
Tell us a little bit about that. It sounds like that was quite an adventure.
It was a lot of work and took months of preparation. You first submit a video, and then if you get in, then you go to the actual competition, but it's on Zoom, and it's Eastern time. And you get to hear other students from across the U.S. and their speeches, and you answer questions.
So is it, what are they looking for? What are the judges looking for when you're doing this competition?
They're looking for a speaker that can really convey the content and meaning of their speech with emotion and confidence and fluency. They also look at your clothing and body language and how well you know your speech.
So you give your speech first, and then they ask you questions about it? Is that how it works?
Yeah, they ask 2 questions.
Okay. And then you answer them, obviously, in Mandarin?
Yep.
You don't get to switch to English?
Nope.
So the questions are probably just as hard or harder than actually the prepared speech, because you've practiced that 100 times, right?
Yeah, you have no idea what they're going to ask, just something about your speech.
Okay. So what did they ask you about your speech in Mandarin that you had to be creative?
I think they asked me how I would explain to someone who doesn't speak Mandarin how I would help them understand the beauty and culture of Mandarin, specifically like a Chinese poet.
What was your speech about? What was it around?
The topic was exploring the wonderful journey of Chinese language and culture. So it was basically my experience learning Mandarin and how it has expanded my worldview.
Talk a little bit about the competition. It sounds like you did very well. What happened?
Well, I was nervous but mostly excited, and I thought they're here to hear my speech, and so when it's my turn, it's my time to shine, and I'm going to make the most of it. And so I just went up and I really tried to share how much Mandarin is a big part of who I am. Everyone did really good, so I am a little bit surprised. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I gave my speech and I added an ancient Chinese poem that I recited within it, which I think the judges liked, and I added emotion and hand gestures, and then I answered their questions. Yeah.
And so, did you win?
Yeah.
Talk about that. That's a big deal. You're not bragging enough. What happened?
Well, a week later, I was nervous and excited for the results, and I went on a Zoom meeting, and it took forever because they started with honorable mention, and then third and second and first, and I was so excited I started running around in circles.
So you end up winning. Is that a national competition or statewide? What's the level of expertise you had to have there?
National.
So what happens next?
I think they might invite me to go to China next year.
I'll be darned. Are you to compete or just visit, or what's the reason behind the visit?
I think it's just for like touring and educational purposes. I think I'm a language ambassador.
Okay, so it's part of your reward of winning, probably, sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Have you thought about the applications of, obviously, the Mandarin into your future? Where do you see it fitting down the road?
I'm not quite sure, but I think I might want to do business and something involving Mandarin, kind of like my dad, or maybe be a translator, possibly even teach more kids Mandarin.
So you might work for Deer Valley someday? That's what you're saying? Well, let's sign the contract now. Well, as you know, TSMC is in our neighborhood as well, the world's largest manufacturers of chips, and they are smack dead center in the district. So we have about 400 students from around the world that do speak Mandarin that are in our schools. Are you starting to intersect with some of those students?
I know at church we're getting more Taiwanese members that are here because of the TSMC semiconductor factory. At school, sometimes I see people that moved from Taiwan, but not as often.
Do you drop a little Mandarin on them?
Yes.
How does that go? Are they shocked that a blonde, blue-eyed girl is talking Mandarin?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's probably pretty amazing to be able to converse on an intellectual level in any language, particularly Mandarin, which I believe is fairly tough. So I believe it's maybe the number one or two most difficult language in the world to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. Well, as you know, Deer Valley has the oldest, longest-running Mandarin program in the state of Arizona at Gavilan Peak. Rumor has it you came from that neck of the woods. Talk a little bit about the Mandarin program at Gavilan Peak.
It is an amazing program. I've learned so much, and it is really cool to be able to speak a different language with your friends. And I've seen so many of my classmates grow and be able to seek for greater potential. And the Mandarin teachers are amazing, and we celebrate Mandarin holidays, which helps people appreciate the culture, and I learned a lot.
I know today we're looking for more kindergartners to enroll at Gavilan Peak so we can keep the program rolling. We try to bring the kids through in cohorts. But you started at 5th grade, which is unusual. Why did you start and be so successful at that later age for acquiring language?
Well, I moved to Arizona in 5th grade because of my dad's job, and my dad does international business with furniture and China, so I learned some Chinese, and I visited China too, and I was born in the U.S., but I did spend time there, which helped me learn Mandarin.
How much did you know when you arrived at the Mandarin program in 5th grade, or was it just conversational? Was it just phrases, or were you ready to go?
Kind of more ready to go, but I would say through the program I definitely improved my reading comprehension skills, which needed help.
Yeah, that's actually probably the hardest part, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Have you thought about learning any other languages? Because obviously you seem to be pretty good at learning languages.
I think it would be cool to learn Italian or Spanish because there's Spanish influence in Arizona.
True. That's good thinking. Congratulations on doing so well and representing Deer Valley Unified and obviously Boulder Creek High School and the Gavilan Peak program. So any wisdom you want to drop on some kindergartners or parents who have kindergartners about an immersion program? We have immersion Spanish, we have immersion Mandarin, we have all these different languages at the high school level as well. What's the value of another language?
I think that the value of learning a language goes even beyond just the language itself. I know it has helped me learn work ethic and working hard and building good habits because languages are hard to learn, but it's so rewarding and it can help you in other classes, especially with the immersion part. You have some classes like Mandarin Science and Social Studies that are in Mandarin, or Spanish or whatever the immersion language is, but it's really cool to be able to apply that language to the other contexts and subjects, and it's so cool. Students end up doing things they never thought they could through immersion programs.
Well, congratulations on being a Deer Valley champion and then turning out to be a state champion, then a national champion. That's a big deal, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Eve Curtis is a great representative of the DVUSD Mandarin program. It's impressive how well she's done on top of all of her other extracurricular activities in her life. Eve, Vienna, and Mr. Zhao are just some of the hard-working students and staff who continue to keep the Mandarin program number one. But the program needs more students to keep it going for years to come. If you have a child entering kindergarten, you can learn more about the Mandarin immersion programs at Gavilan Peak and Boulder Creek High School on their websites. You can also learn more about the Desert Sage program for Mandarin immersion, as well as other language immersion options at dvusd.org/DLI. No matter what language you specialize in, you can always catch up on previous episodes of the Supe Scoops podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at dvusd.org/SoupeScoop. Give us a follow and comment on our programs on the platform you listen to. I'm Dr. Curtis Finch, and you're all caught up on everything happening at DVUSD with a Supe Scoop podcast.